The Redevelopment Agency meeting of September 21st, 2011 is called to order. This meeting has been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the open meeting law. These proceedings are being presented live on KCLV Cable Channel 2 and are closed captioned for hearing impaired viewers. The Redevelopment Agency meeting, as well as all other KCLV programming, can be viewed on the city's website at www.kclv.tv. The proceedings will be rebroadcast on KCLV Channel 2 and the web the Wednesday of the meeting at 8 p.m. and also on Friday at 4 a.m., Saturday at 7 p.m., Sunday at 7 a.m., and the following Monday at 1 p.m. This building is protected by a state-of-the-art fire detection and suppression sprinkler system. If the alarms should activate during today's meeting, please evacuating using the exits. Once outside, assemble on the Las Vegas Boulevard side of the property. Employees wearing safety vests or our city marshals will inform you as to when it's safe to re-enter the building. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters on the agenda for action. The amount of time any single speaker is allowed may be limited. All comments made will be cross-referenced to those specific items. If anyone submitted a speaker card or who wishes to speak under this portion of the agenda, please come to the podium and state your name for the record. We will set the time at 1 minute.
Good morning,
Yes, ma'am. Good
Mayor
morning.
and City Council. My name is Catherine Duncan. Not only am I coming as the president of the Ward 5 Chamber of Commerce, but as a property owner on F Street. I have some concerns about the F Street closure, the manner in which we've gone about closing it, and in addition, the manner we've gone about reopening it. I think we've made some serious mistakes, and if we don't get our act together, we're going to continue to make mistakes because we're not involving the people that really need to be involved. I don't believe the state has actually ever sat down with the homeowners in that neighborhood to find out what our desires are. I have 3 questions. I know my time is limited.
Yes.
You're planning to put $2.5 million. We need to know if the entire $2.5 million was spent or if there's additional funds left, because we believe that there needs to be a concerted master plan between NDOT, RTC, and the city. We need to know when how far we are in the design process for completing the F Street reopening, and if there is enough money anywhere to reopen F Street once we finish the designs.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else? We will move on to item 4. For possible action to approve the final minutes by reference of the regular Redevelopment Agency meeting of June 15th, 2011, may I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
We will be having a voice vote as we have some technological glitch here. All in favor, please signify by aye.
Aye.
Abstain? You would have to say aye. And nays. Thank you. Motion carries. I did not vote aye, but I am voting aye. I forgot to vote. Thank you. And now on to number 5, resolutions. RA 62011, discussion for possible action regarding a resolution finding the proposed interlocal agreement between the City of Las Vegas and the City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency, RDA, for the RDA to provide funding for the reopening of F Street at I-15 is in compliance with and in furtherance of the goals and objectives of the redevelopment plan. Councilman Barlow. Good morning.
Good morning, Mayor.
I'm wondering about Ms. Duncan's questions.
Okay, we'll most definitely address that.
Thank you.
Shortly after Mr. Romeo addresses us. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. Romeo Betty, City of Las Vegas UED manager. I'm filling in for Bill today. As you recall, in 2009, Nevada legislature passed Assembly Bill 304, Section 32.2, that required the city to contract for the design of the project to reopen F Street at I-15, that the RDA is mandated to provide $2.5 million for that purpose. This resolution authorizes an interlocal agreement between the City of Las Vegas and the Redevelopment Agency and authorizes the transfer of RDA funds to the City of Las Vegas for that purpose.
I think it would be nice if we could address the questions that Ms. Duncan inquired about the funds, about the timeline, about any meetings being scheduled on this.
Yeah. We heard at the Southern Nevada Enterprise Community meeting last Monday, a week ago, that from NDOT, that the design was 60% completed. About $2.1 million of that is allocated so far for the design. I can't speak to Public Works is not here. They can give you more
Oh, yes,
detail.
they are.
Oh, very good. Thank you.
Good morning. For the record, Jorge Cervantes, Director of Public Works. As Romeo stated, we are at about 70% complete in design. They expect design to be completed early next year, around February. Design documents will be completed. Assuming funding is in place for construction will start toward the end of 2012.
Are there any further community participation meetings scheduled?
I'm not sure. David?
I can address that, Mayor.
Thank you.
David Riggleman, Communications Director. Yes, we have another meeting that will be coming at the end of, probably toward the end of October, where we'll have a chance to go back to the community with the final stages of what the actual design will look like, that people will see, the aesthetics that people will see as they proceed through F Street. We had a series of meetings, for the record, back in over the course of the summer, where people could select which actually took place last fall and then end of last year. We had the community had an opportunity to come in and basically choose the design that they wanted. From there, now we're down to the brass tacks. We had another meeting where the community could come in, and we got ideas as to what the aesthetics would look like, what should be displayed, and that's what we're putting the final touches on now.
And where will the community meeting be held, and at what time, and again, what date, please?
We haven't set a specific date, Mayor, but it'll be coming up probably within the next month. Usually they're at the Doolittle Community Centers where we've had the meetings.
And there's proper notification
Yes.
so that, everybody, to the best of their ability, can easily find where. And
Mayor, we've worked very hard to have an effective outreach. We're on social media. We're on Facebook and Twitter. We have a website dedicated to F Street. We have sent flyers out. We have reached out to the community in a variety of ways. And I think that we've done an adequate job, actually a good job of getting the word out to the community. We have people that follow us on social media as well. And I think those, especially that are interested, have had the opportunity to follow the project.
Doolittle will carry it on their agenda, I'm assuming.
Yes, it will make sure that the folks over there obviously are aware of it, and it'll be on the board there as well. So,
any questions or any comments, please? Councilman Coffin?
Thank you, Your Honor. This bill that was passed in 2009, I voted for. It was upsetting because we were told at the legislature that due to oversights by NDOT and others, we had no choice but to pass this bill, which then forces the city and the other bodies to contribute money for this. And it's too bad because it's such a horrible expense at a time when we can't afford it. Now, I know we've already spent about 80% of this $2.5 million on design, if I'm not mistaken. So we're in it. And is that the limit of our exposure now?
Based on the bill, Councilman, our exposure is $2.5 million toward the design and $20 million toward construction, based on the way the bill is written. It obligates us to spend our share of the 5-cent ad valorem tax to fund the $20 million portion. Now, our share of the ad valorem tax won't reach $20 million. The bill only obligates us to that portion of the ad valorem as our obligation, up to $20 million.
Your Honor, then we're spending more than 2.5. We're spending 20.
Up to 20. Right now, the current
much is
cost
this?
estimate for the structure is about $17 million, but the bill requires up to 20 or our share of the ad valorem.
What is the state's share?
The state share is anything above 20 million. The original estimates were anywhere from 40 to 70 million. Their responsibility is anything over 20 million.
You know, the road looks mighty good now as it's done. Unfortunately, apparently, something happened. And I wasn't here for 2 years, so I don't know what was missed. It was a notification to the property owners and residents, or property owners, what?
There was notification. NDOT, as they were doing their environmental impact clearance, went through the legal notification process to notify residents in the area. They had a couple of public meetings. There was a presentation here in City Council that showed the improvements that were going to be done to the interstate system.
Yes, but what did we overlook that the law says we should have done?
We were in compliance with the law as far as notification requirements.
You're leaving me hanging here, Jorge. Why did we have to pass that bill in 2009?
There was concerns from the community that their voice wasn't fully heard. Senator Horsford led the push to try to get the community concerns addressed.
Well, the bill came out of the Assembly. It was an AB 304. I know that Senator Horsford, as Majority Leader, was definitely pushing for it, but he didn't originate the bill.
Yeah, I'm not sure who the original writer of the bill was, Councilman.
Did we ever consider, and I did not sit on the committees that handled the testimony on this issue, and maybe it's definitely water under the bridge, but just thinking about the money that could be spent in other ways on the west side and along Fifth Street, and F Street and the others, I'm still amazed that we're at this pass.
Perhaps, I think what you're driving at is that we don't go there again, and that we look at this and see where the glitches were so it doesn't happen in the future, and what indications, if there could be anything. But I think what our plans are going forward are very, very solid, very strong, as long as the community is able to participate in the discussions with Mr. Riggleman has assured will happen.
But, Your Honor, I'm led to believe that we did what we were supposed to do, and that the legislature, essentially by its pressure, forced the issue, which is troubling to me because the legislature was told that the city had made mistakes, and I think NDOT had made mistakes. Now I'm hearing that we didn't, and I need to know the truth before I vote for any more money on this project.
Councilman, I can't say that there was mistakes made on one side or the other. Certainly there was an effort to do an outreach out there to show what the improvements were. There was feedback that came back from the community. At the time of the outreach, no feedback came back saying we don't want that closure. And so the closure, the decision for the closure was an economic one. There was savings to the improvement, the total improvement cost, and it was based on economics. We didn't receive any feedback, neither NDOT or the city, saying we don't support this closure at the time. So it was more of a engineer type decision saying it saves the project $7 million to do this closure, to not have to build other structures, and that's how the decision was made.
I feel terrible, Your Honor, if we in fact had conformed to the law and there was no litigation, and that we did it based upon just political pressure. I'm kind of ashamed of my vote if in fact that's how I voted, but that was what I was informed about and that's what I was told.
I think those are good points, because I will tell you, government is not always friendly to the community member, and that it's a lesson for us all. And the information that goes up to the legislature, how it gets buried, the truth gets buried, perhaps, or an innuendo. It's a sad thing, I agree. Because here we are in this situation, not responsive to the community, and certainly not responsive psychologically, and having to come up with additional funds to correct something that should never have occurred possibly in the first place. But I was not sitting at that time, nor were you, though you were in the Assembly. And knowing how busy everything is in the legislature, and the pressure and the lobbying and the bills that become before you, hopefully this will be something that will be enlightening, and as the legislature moves forward, that issues are properly vetted before by the individual elected officials. So we are where we are. I think the pieces are in place. I feel comfortable that Ms. Duncan's questions have been answered. We talked about the allocation of funds, the community involvement. Did I miss one other?
Yes, ma'am. I think the problem we have is our use of the word community.
Yes.
Because at those neighborhood meetings, you had people from Summerlin, from Henderson, from New York, but you didn't have the landowners, the homeowners, and the business owners in the neighborhood where the situation occurred. I brought this up continuously to Mr. Riggleman. He talks about Facebook, Twitter. This is pre-1950 Las Vegas. We're not on Facebook and Twitter.
Right. And that's why I asked to be sure the communication's open, that Doolittle Center, well, we're going to work to make sure that happens.
Doolittle, in all due respect, is not in our neighborhood. It's over there.
Well, perhaps we can go ahead and put flyers out or something. I mean, I think this is something we can certainly
Mayor,
address.
I think that the same mistake
Yes,
you
Mr.
made
Mayor.
then, if I can
Thank you.
finish, sir, the same mistake this body made in closing F Street, saying that we did our community outreach, you did the same kind of community outreach now as you did then. So you're making the
Okay.
same mistake now.
You've brought it to our attention, and I appreciate it because we will do better on this. Councilman Barlow, I heard you.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to add some body to the conversation today, we understand all of the finger pointing that has taken place over the closure of F Street. And first and foremost, I do want to say publicly that it was Ms. Duncan that brought it to my attention when I first heard about it. She contacted my office back in, I believe, 2008, if memory serves me correctly. However, since then, moving forward, a lot of public meetings have taken place. The media has been all over it. Countless neighborhood meetings have transpired, and Ms. Duncan and I respectfully disagree on this one key point, and that's the key point of the public notification. We've gone door to door, knocked on doors, left flyers. We've had the media in tow to help publicize every bit and every transaction of what was going on and what was moving forward as it relates to F Street, from Twitter, MySpace, Your Space, Facebook, every media outlet that we could think of, to include knocking on doors. What Ms. Duncan's issue is that she has she's a part of a neighborhood association that she wants the state and the city to come to her neighborhood meeting. And I told her, just like I've told every other neighborhood association, that we're going to do this in an open format. I am not going to subject our city staff to a specific meeting. We have neighborhood meetings so that everyone can be involved, because that was the major issue in the first place, as far as no transparency and that things are being done in closed meetings. And I wanted every meeting to be open and every meeting to be on neutral territory. And so I chose Doolittle Community Center, which is in the heart of the historical West Las Vegas community, that houses all of the neighborhood meetings for every council person that has sat in this seat representing Ward 5. Everyone knows that Doolittle is the central location for all neighborhood meetings, which is a neutral location for all the neighborhoods to come in. Now, mind you, the neighborhood in which she's referencing is less than a half a mile from Doolittle Community Center. And so to say that we have not spoken to or interacted with the property owners as it surrounds or as it relates to this F Street project, she is 100% emphatically incorrect, and she knows that she is wrong for making such a statement. And I just have to put it out there, because she continues to come and bombard this council and my public meetings with the same innuendos that we've missed individuals. We have not missed anyone. I've done all that I can and continue to do all that I can to keep the community informed and abreast of every activity that surrounds F Street. Now, for those of you who agree with the F Street opening, and for those of you that disagree with the F Street opening, that's neither here nor there, because the state legislature, according to AB 304, has demanded that the city of Las Vegas do specific things. And so, as a city council, we have to obey by the state law. And that's where we are today, Mayor. So with that, before us today is a $2.5 million allocation for the redesign of F Street. And I've put it out thanks to the Public Information Office through our director, David Riggleman. We put it out on Monday to make sure that residents knew that this item was coming before us, because once again, it's all about transparency. I wanted the residents to know that this was coming before us today, so that no one could say that they weren't informed. And so for that, I am comfortable with moving this item forward, because number one, we're demanded by the state to do so, And on top of that, the community, from countless meetings, have been involved in so many different neighborhood meetings, from the design, from the conversations, the historical, you name it, from A to Z, has been a part of this process. And to stop the process right now will only throw away all of those conversations and meetings that we've had in the past. And I'm not going to allow that to happen, because we're so close to, from where we once were to now creating, correcting a wrong in the community's eye and moving in the right direction to reopen the bridge. And so with this bridge opening also serves as a catalyst to all of the other master plan developments that are taking place in and around the West Las Vegas community. So this has now become a part of a greater master plan of the historical West Las Vegas community. So stopping this train now is not something that I'm going to stand behind and allow to happen. And so for that, I'm going to move for approval of this item, subject to all conditions.
Thank you, Councilman Barlow. That was a very clear explanation of what's been going on, because with Councilman Coffin and myself being somewhat new here, it's nice to know the efforts that were made and how clearly they were done. There's a motion on the floor. We have no ability to do other than a voice vote, so please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any abstain? Thank you very much. The motion carries. For the record, we will ask for nay. It is silent. Thank you. And thank you. Thank you for participating. I see we had a gentleman who wanted to speak to the issue, but we had invited you up before, and so we have to move on. I'm sorry. Perhaps later on. Thank you. And now we will move on to item 6, RA 72011, discussion for possible action regarding a resolution finding the project proposed by the Commercial Visual Improvement Program CVIP agreement between the City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency and iGaming Inc., owner and CVIP participant, located at 600 Fremont Street, to be in compliance with and in furtherance of the goals and objectives of the redevelopment plan, and authorizing the execution of the CVIP agreement by the RDA. Ward 5, Councilman Barlow. This item is related to Council Item 61 R40-2011.
Thank you, Your
Mr.
Honor.
Romeo.
Thank you. I'm going to have Mr. Atkins, who's our business attraction manager, handle this item.
Good
Good morning, Council. Rich Atkins, Redevelopment Officer with EUD. And this is part of our Commercial Visual Improvement Program that we've had in existence since about 2004, 2005. And this item is related to IKE Gaming Incorporated, El Cortez Casino and Hotel, and they are undertaking extensive interior and exterior improvements to their property. The exterior improvements will include painting of the entire property, the tower, the casino section, and the parking garage wall, basically one city block. They are spending also approximately $341,000 on this improvement, and they also will include planters and shutters on the casino portion of the building. And we have had a wonderful relationship with the El Cortez and their investments that they made into their properties the last 6 to 8 years, and also within the entertainment district as well. If there's any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. I also have representatives from the El Cortez, Mike Nolan, the COO, Chief Operating Officer, and Joe Woody, the Chief Financial Officer.
Are there any questions? I must say, the improvements to the El Cortez over these years, it's magnificent. It's done so much for the renaissance of our entire city, and I congratulate you all. Any questions? Councilman Barlow.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. And Mr. Nolan, I had an opportunity to drive past your property and see a lot of paint, different varieties of paint on the wall. Come forward and talk to us about that. I almost called code enforcement to have the graffiti removed, but I understand that there's something else taking place. Talk to us about it.
Thank you, Councilman. As Mr. Atkins said, Mike Nolan, El Cortez, 600 Fremont. Thank you, Councilman. As Mr. Atkins said, we had done extensive work inside. We just opened the new parlor, bar, and lounge, finished our Flame Steakhouse. But one thing we wanted to do was work on the exterior and for the entire area. We're close to opening the Thai restaurant on Fremont. As these things are opening and coming together, we thought that our outside of the building was a little bit of an eyesore, and because we're historic, we wanted to go back to shutters on the windows with flower boxes underneath. We contracted with Friedmutter Design Group to come up with the colors, and instead of one color, they have come up with a multi-color to go on. What you saw, Councilman, was some samples. One color was quite shocking. We're working on that. But it will tie in several colors throughout the parking garage, around the area, to make it look more like a town center. And as we get those colors, hopefully by the end of the week, they envision, then we start the painting process, and it'll take about 9 weeks to complete. If I answered your question, sir.
You did answer my question, and thank you for that. And how's everything going with the boutique across the street?
With the Cabana Suites, sir?
Cabana Suites.
The occupancy for the hotel is picked up. We have 364 rooms, so people are traveling here. They are staying in the rooms. As we all know, the overall revenue is down, but people are starting to travel more, and the reception is not only good on those, but on the Design a Suite competition that Alex Epstein did. We have 2 rooms that were they're the last 2 rooms that we're in the process of completing there. What happened here is a couple of the board members, times are tough right now. And to take this money to paint the building, things were a little bit tough, and we had to convince a couple of the board members to go ahead with this where they were concerned, but we think it's in the betterment of the area to make this stand out with the other businesses that are opening.
Yeah, and as the warmer weather continues to increase across our valley throughout the year, what are your plans for cooling off some of your patrons?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand, sir.
I said, what are some of your efforts from a poolside standpoint to help
the
cool
pool.
off some of your
very
patrons?
Very clear. Yes, we have the drawings, we have the civil engineering done on it.
I'm trying to help you out here.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm trying to walk you through your property.
And the civil engineering is done on it, and again, it's acquiring the funds. As I've said before, no money is coming out of the Cortez. Nobody's taking anything, no dividends, no bonuses. This is anything that we do to the property, any money that we have available is spent on the property, and we hope that pool will come very soon.
Okay, well, good deal.
Thank you, sir.
Good deal. Just as the mayor stated, you all have done such a wonderful job with the revitalization and the reprogramming of the El Cortez, and it most definitely is a very attractive location, and the food is great. If you all haven't had an opportunity to visit the El Cortez lately, the food is great, and just have a great time frequenting your property. And so I'm in support of everything that you all are doing to really enhance and beautify your property, because what it's doing is really spinning off into the surrounding and adjacent properties in the area to do just the same. And so you almost definitely at the forefront, and you are to be accredited for that. So I am in support of the VIP in this item, and I would like to move for approval subject to all conditions of this item, and continue to keep up the good work, and thank you so very much. And I'll be seeing you soon.
Thank you, sir.
At the neighborhood meeting that is taking place Tuesday the 27th.
Tuesday the 27th, I believe, at 5:30 in our Founders Room, sir.
In your Founders Room, right, and that's to address the concerns surrounding the noise ordinance in the Fremont East Entertainment District. And so thank you so very much for opening up your property, and we invite all of the community members and residents and those interested parties to include the media because, of course, I'm all about transparency and creating a equitable balance to assist all those interested in what's going on in the Fremont East Entertainment District. And so thank you for opening up your property. And once again, the neighborhood meeting is taking place on September 27th at
5:30 in the Founders
p.m.
Room.
in the Founders Room, second floor
That's correct,
of
sir.
the El Cortez. Thank you. So that's my motion at this time, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Nolan, Mr. Woody, congratulations. What a huge mark you're making, and just love it. There's a motion on the floor. All those in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
Any abstention, say aye. Any nays, say aye. Motion carries. Good luck. Thank you. Councilman Barlow, thank you so much. Agenda item 7. RA 82011, discussion for possible action regarding a resolution finding the project proposed by the Commercial Visual Improvement Program, CVIP, agreement between the City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency and Raymond Pistol, owner, and Hostel Cat, Inc., tenant and CVIP participant, located at 1236 South Las Vegas Boulevard, to be in compliance with and in furtherance of the goals and objectives of the redevelopment plan, and authorizing the execution of the CVIP agreement by the RDA. Ward 3, Councilman Coffin, this item is related to Council item number 62, R41, 2011. Mr. Romeo.
Thank you, Your Honor. Again, I'm going to have Rich Atkins do the presentation.
Mayor, Council, Rich Atkins, Redevelopment Officer, Economic and Urban Development. And this item, again, is part of the Commercial Visual Improvement Program. The applicant, Chandler Stewart, is the business owner of the Hostel Cats. It's a youth hostel down on 1236 South Las Vegas Boulevard. He has a lease for this property, and he has renovated over the past year at the cost of about $400,000 of 9 outbuildings to turn into a youth hostel. He has been waiting for the refunding of the VIP program to install his signage to be in compliance with the Las Vegas Scenic Byway. And the Hostel Cat signage, as you can see right here, is what will be going up. He's spending approximately $10,000, and we will be reimbursing him at the end of the project $5,000 for this project. The business owner is unable to make it today, but the sign representative is here today to answer any questions you may have.
Can we see the picture, please? Thank you. Any questions? Would you like to come to the microphone and introduce yourself, please?
John Urich, 3870 Dazzler Court, representing the applicant. I've gone through the process with them back since February. We've gone through DDRC approval, variance approval, and encroachment agreement approval. He's ready to go and anxious to get started.
Thank you. Councilman Coffin? Is your mic on?
I move for approval. Thank you.
Thank you. There's a motion. Please vote by signifying by voice. Aye. Aye. Any abstention? Any nays? Motion carries. Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Atkins and Mr. Romeo. And item number 8, reported declarations of interest in property located in existing redevelopment area. Ms. Bridges.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the annual disclosure of interest in the redevelopment area required by NRS 279-454. Any officer or employee of the city involved with the formulation or approval of plans or policies in the redevelopment area must disclose any direct or indirect financial interest in those said properties. The law requires disclosure be entered upon the minutes of the redevelopment agency and the city council, and this item, along with city council item 15 on your consent agenda, satisfies this requirement. There is no motion on this item, and thank you for accepting my report.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to agenda item 9, citizens' participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda, as we mentioned before, must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the redevelopment agency. No subject may be acted upon by the redevelopment agency unless that subject is on the agenda and is scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, come to the podium, please. Give your name for the record. The amount of discussion on any single subject, as well as the amount of time on any single speakers allowed, may be limited. Is there anyone wishing to speak under this portion, please state your name.
My name is Saul Willis, and I live at 602 West McWilliam.
Thank you. Please.
And I want to talk today because that where they came, the freeway is. I'm in that neighborhood, and that neighborhood was damaged to the freeway. They built a freeway through the neighborhood, and they wait 24 hours a day and saying that they didn't do no damage to the neighborhood at all. And I'm here to say that is not right.
Thank you. We appreciate your comments, and I think we're all sensitive to that. Thank you. Ms. Duncan.
Your Honor, I just wanted to...
You want to restate your name, please?
I'm Catherine Duncan. I did come in front of Councilman Barlow in 2008 and ask him to please look into why we're closing F Street, because if we do, it's going to be a fiasco. It's going to cost the city millions of dollars. What I told him came true. $20 million later, we're in trouble. I'm telling you today, we're making the same mistake we made 4 years ago. Not only are you going to pay the $20 million, when you hear from the people that you really need to be talking to, Mr. Willis, Dr. Fowler, the people who actually live in the neighborhood, who never asked you to open F Street. We've never said to you, open up F Street. You've heard it from everybody except the people in the neighborhood. And I'm telling you today that unless you get to the stakeholders, the landowners, the business owners, and the residents of that neighborhood, you're making another mistake. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, Councilman Coffin?
Thank you, Your Honor. I guess I need to have some clarification, perhaps from staff, since the previous speaker has just left. Are some members of the public suggesting that it's a mistake to continue with the project? I think that's, are we getting that feedback from the community now? Maybe I need to hear from staff. Since
Yes, Councilman. You're hearing from two people in the community. That's what you're hearing from.
I'm sorry.
Any other
Before I guess,
additions?
I'll tell you what, Your Honor. I voted for the $2.5 million to move it forward because it's committed. It's already, frankly, been spent, most of it. I think I'm going to reserve my vote on continuing the project until we know more. I do know that I was misled once, and that was at the legislature, that we were told that the city council had perhaps broken statute. And I think that I just want to reserve and let people know, put you all on notice, that I am not a certain vote for the continuation of spending money after this first $2.5 million. Thank you.
Councilman Coffin, you are, I respect your comments. The only thing that we can do at this point from a city council standpoint is wait for 2013 and see if the state legislature will reverse that. Other than that, we are bound by state law to continue to move forward. And you were a part of that vote, sir. So that's the only other remedy you'll have to basically change that. Now, I'm not suggesting that because I'll share with you that there's an entire community that have been to and David Riggleman and the entire PIO office, including myself, Betsy Fredwell, a lot of members of this council saw from the community who came out in the hundreds and protested on the Las Vegas Strip that they wanted this to move forward as far as the reopening of F Street. It's bigger than just the opening of the street. It's more of a main concern as far as having open access throughout all communities versus having dead-end streets that does not allow commerce to flow freely in and out of the community. And that's what I don't understand about Mrs. Duncan's comments, because early on in the conversation of when she brought this forward, she was 100% pro of reopening F Street. Now she's 100% against opening the street. So in essence, she's on the opposite end of where she was before. And so when you ask how many people are for keeping the street closed, it's only a couple people, and she is one of the couple people that I'm referencing. Other than that, there's hundreds of community members that have come before this council on several occasions and addressed their concerns as far as having open access throughout their community. And I stand behind that, and I support it. And anything beyond this point, as far as the city doing anything opposite, it will have to be changed at the state legislature, not at this body, sir.
Thank you very much. Anyone else wishing to make comment? Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 10. Agency member recognition. Comments made by an individual agency members during the portion of the agenda will not be acted upon by the agency unless that subject's on the agenda and scheduled for action. Is there any member of the redevelopment agency who wishes to speak under this portion of the agenda? Any other comments? Hearing none, this redevelopment agency is adjourned. We will start our city council meeting. We'll take a 5-minute recess. Thank you.